This is the new Fiat 600, and if you love the Fiat 500 but it's just not big or practical enough for you, then you might want to take a look at this. So it's a bit bigger and more practical. It's available as a petrol, mild hybrid, or as this full electric version, the 600e. Now there's lots of rivals among compact crossovers, but might this one be the most fun and charismatic of them all? Well, that's what I want to find out in this video. Fiat was always about style and affordability, and this is quite sharply priced against its rivals. So the hybrid goes on sale from about 29 and this electric version from about €33,000. Rivals include the Jeep Avenger, the Peugeot E2008, Toyota Yaris Cross, Smart #1, Renault Captur. There's lots of them. This is very cute, however, very charismatic. If you love the 500, I think you'll love this as well. It's got those iconic headlamps, 600 there in the centre. And this colour is Orange Sun, which I think is a must-have for this new 600. Inside, it's got a really bright and fun cabin. It's very stylish and it's very chic, as you would expect from a small Italian car like this. There are lots of hard plastics in the doors and also the dashboard, but the 600 just gets away with it somehow because of this injection of a bit of colour. So this one has the ivory dashboard panel and also these gorgeous ivory seats. These are specific to the Prima, but really nice. You've got this gorgeous steering wheel, a small digital driver display, but it does the job, and also this touchscreen here in the centre. You use these buttons to select your forward or reverse. There's loads of storage in this car, so this cubby here, you've got a wireless smartphone charging pad in here and also some USB-C ports. This is your electronic parking brake release, your drive mode selector. More space down here with little dividers that you can use to create cup holders, and then there's more space here onto the armrest. It does come exceptionally well equipped. This La Prima model is not cheap, but there's a really nice equipment list. So it's got heated front seats. The driver's seat has power adjustment. It also has a massage function, which is actually really nice. There's a parking camera, adaptive cruise control, keyless entry, and single zone climate control. So not dual zone, but it works okay. You've got these nice physical buttons down here to operate the ventilation. Touchscreen is very simple, so it does come with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's got a nice little slim shape there. There's a navigation inbuilt into it where you can search for your nearest charging point. You can also preset the heating or ventilation in the cabin so that it's nice and toasty when you get in the morning. That is an advantage of it being electric. The shortcut buttons underneath here so you can pull up menus quickly, and of course these physical buttons for the ventilation and a volume knob here as well. It sits a bit higher off the ground than your average hatchback, but not by much, just enough to call itself a crossover. You've got cladding there around the wheel arches, the lower sill, rear privacy glass and 18-inch alloy wheels on this La Prima. Here's where you charge it. You've got a 54 kilowatt hour battery, that's 51 kilowatt hour usable. DC fast charging is up to 100 kilowatts, so that's a 20 to 80% charge in about 27 minutes. And AC charging up to 11 kilowatt. Heat pump comes as standard, and this of course does share its battery and underpinnings with the likes of Jeep Avenger and also the Peugeot E2008. When it comes to boot space, you get about 360 litres here in the electric, which is not bad at all for a compact car like this. It only loses about 25 litres versus the hybrid version. There's also a false floor, so you can create a second compartment there to stow away the charging cables, which is great to have, or you can just let that down so you can enjoy all the space. And a powered tailgate comes as standard on this La Prima. It's clear from the back that this is still a small car, but if you've come from a 500, you'll love all this extra legroom and also those rear doors, so it makes it easier to get people in and out. Now, the door openings are quite narrow, so that will make it a little bit trickier to get in and out, but once seated as a small adult, I'm pretty comfortable here behind that seat set for myself. There's no rear armrest, but you wouldn't really expect that in the compact class. There is one USB-C port. There's also pockets at the back of those seats, but there's no door bends either. Lots of hard plastics. That theme continues from the front, but the Fiat somehow gets away with it. So altogether, it's not a bad place to sit at all. So what's it like to drive? Well, pretty much all your dreams come true in a small Fiat. You've got 156 horsepower, that's sent to the front wheels, 260 newton meters of torque, and 0 to 100 is about 9 seconds. There's a number of different driving modes like sport, normal and eco, and there's also a B mode here. Press that and it gives you that stronger regen effect. So that's handy if you're doing a lot of town driving. The car will slow itself down just basically using the accelerator pedal. When you lift off, the car slows down, so less use of the actual foot brake. The steering is really very light. It really took me aback when I got into this for the first time, considering some of the other vehicles I've been driving recently, but it does weight up as you go faster and get onto maybe tighter rural roads. You do feel that steering weight up a bit, so it's actually good fun to drive. There's plenty of resistance there, and the light steering is good for driving around town. Copes with rural roads very well. It's easy to place on the road. There's plenty of grip from that front end, and it's comfortable for the most part as well over Irish roads, but there is quite a lot of road and wind noise at high speeds on the motorway, so it doesn't like motorways as much, and the EV powertrain also tends to consume more in that kind of driving as well. Now, in mixed driving, my consumption figure has been about 16.2 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Not quite as efficient as some of those other EVs I've driven recently, like Opel Astra Electric or the Peugeot E308. So if you do the maths on that, it would point at a range of about 315 kilometers. So it's fine, but I don't think it'd be one I'd be buying if I was doing a lot of long distance motorway driving. But it's a fun, fab Fiat. There's so much to like about this Fiat 600e. There's more refinement and smoothness than in the hybrid, but the hybrid definitely is better value. So this starts to get a little bit steep. €38,000 for this Prima 600e. It's a small car, so I don't think I'd be paying that much for it. I think there's better value to be had elsewhere in the range, but it is a beautiful car. It's fun to drive, and it just makes you feel happy, really. And that's nice. That's a really nice thing to do. So that's all from the cabin of the Fiat 600e. You can read more over on changinglanes.ie, and I left a link in the description below the video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.